What's up, guys? My name's Doofus Mcdooface, and I just want to make a short little video for newer to intermediate players about splitting and overall just roles and building. I know I haven't made a split video in a long time, so I just wanted to sort of talk about it. What is splitting? Well, it's allowing either A, 2 units to tank, or multiple units to tank, or B, it's just creating a diversion. That's all it is. That's all it is. Right? Like a split in a tower defense game is just that. Is creating a diversion. Why do you do these things? Delay for this purpose right here. Right? This would be delay. Allowing a unit to kill the creeps faster, while the rest of the creeps are just stuck on maybe a cheap unit or a tankier unit as a delay factor. And in this case, I'm actually using a ranged unit, right? This is a ranged unit as a pipsqueak, so that could be cool too. But yeah, I mean, this is a tower defense at the end of the day. So as you can see, the creeps will go 3 right there. 9 go there, and then they slowly have to walk over. That is why you split. Right, that's simple as that. I mean, we could just watch it again, and let's watch it one more time just to understand what is happening. This is what a split is. So it's actually 4-8 is the actual true number. And that's because the pipsqueak has killed one. He has eliminated one of the creeps before it actually walks up to him. Here, I just have a cheap tier 1 in the split. This is normally called the split. The right side, for me, is always going to be in my split. I usually throw a lot of cheap units over there when I have extra like 10, 15, 20 gold. Or, as the game gets deeper and deeper, when I'm trying to adjust my split. And I'll explain that in a second. But for now, once again, this is all a split is. If somebody is saying, hey, you need a split, this is one of the most basic breaking down descriptions. Once again, you have some units over here, and you have some, actually more than some, quite a few units over here, right? That is all a split is. And then I'll show it again, right? I'll show it again what it would look like if you did not have any split at all, or if you had a semi-split. Right? So once again, this is a ranged unit. So I'm doing this sort of tactically. Right? So now I could have a range split not on the right side. I could do something like this. Now just hear me out, guys. Click on your ranged units.
Stay close, orbs.
If you have a chance, and just look at the circle. Look at the circle. The circle is very, very useful.
All right, orbs.
The circle that is given is very useful. And if you want to get even deeper,
I think I've got the spell right this
if you hover over it, it'll say the range number. 550. 550 range. That is 5.5 tiles is exactly what it's meaning. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then barely a half, right? That is what it means when it says 550 range.
I'm ready.
Is that at about 5.5 tiles away, a range unit will start attacking. If it was 600, then it's at 6 tiles. If it's at 200, then it's at 2 tiles. That is what that means. But let's focus on our wave 1 positioning. So we tried it with an even split on our right side, which I normally prefer to do. We could also, wouldn't always recommend this, but there's also, with ranged units, a split sort of within your circle. Right, within your circle. That might be too close, but let's just see. So the more inside the circle, the less chance it will tank. That's actually perfect, but so here you will see it probably tank a couple, and then the bone will tank quite a few, or not at all, right? Or not at all. And that right there is a great example of each wave having different speeds. That part's really confusing. We don't need to talk about that. Let's just talk about that. Just so I don't seem crazy. What do I mean by different speeds? That was wave 1. Let's look at wave 5. Wave 5, I've not changed anything, right? That Pipsqueak, which has a 550 range, did not tank anything. Let's see what happens on wave 5. On wave 5, it perfectly tanks just the boss, and then my melee unit walks up and is going to tank everything else. That thing's going to die because I have no value, but this is perfect, right? And this is where playing the game over and over and over is going to be so helpful. And yes, watching my videos is great. Hit that like button, comment if you learned or didn't learn something. But playing over and over is going to allow you to understand that, wow, wave 5 has a different split mechanic, right? Different speed mechanic, different creep mechanic than wave 1, 2, 3, etc., right? And guess what? Most waves are like that, unfortunately. And there's no way that I can give you guys a breakdown of wave 6, this is how you have to build. Wave 7, this is how you have to build. Because, once again, every unit is going to have a different range number. Right? Every unit's going to have a different range number. So you'd need probably like 700 different computations. Right? Once again, that was sort of similar to wave 5. So I just wanted you guys to sort of see different splits, how they look. You know? Just seeing if this Pipsqueak tanks at all. Or it tanks a little bit too. So on wave 1, it didn't tank anything. Waves 5, 6, 7, it tanked. Right? Let's see wave 2. On wave 2, our Pipsqueak tanks 1, 2, a couple again. Right? So just sort of learning the differences of each wave is going to be super, super useful. Why are these things good? It's a great question. Why is it even good to have a ranged unit tank? Well, why don't I just build like this? Why don't I just build like this? Having the melee in front of my range. Why not? Why not do that? I mean, it's still got the distance, you know? It still has the distance. But that's just not going to be best in order to kill the most creeps. And it's just purely based on time and health pool. Right? It's purely based on time and health pool. That's the only way I can describe it to you. I mean, I guess I could show like a perfect example might be wave 3. Let's see if this holds. The wave 3, I have no split. It's just one after the other. Right? My melee unit dies. Then my Pipsqueak tanks. And I leak about 50, 30... 28%. Alright, so I leaked 28%. Not that bad on wave 3. I haven't received a 10. Okay, that is with me building a melee in front of my ranged unit. Now, let's look at a baby split, right? Like we had earlier.
Let's try not to explode.
So it's 4 tiles behind, just inside the circle, right? So I know my Pipsqueak's only going to tank a little bit. But just for learning experience, let's take a look at this. Let's see what happens.
I think I've got the spell right this time.
It actually doesn't tank at all. But it probably allowed that Bone Warrior a little more delay. And maybe I'm wrong. Or maybe I'm right. And it's a full hold with 100 HP left. Dang. That was pretty interesting, right? That was pretty interesting. That is why you split. And let's look at my original example as well. Let's look at my original example. I'm going to guess that this is going to have the best outcome, but let's still look. just so you guys can visualize exactly what is happening. Once again, this is only pulling 4. They're having to waste time over there. The Pipsqueak actually killed all 4 of those before the breakdown had reached the Pipsqueak. So 100 health points was what we were looking at before. 188. 188 health points. So you can leak 28%. You can hold with 100 health points. Or you can hold with 188. Which do you prefer? Right? Which do you prefer? I'm going to go with the 188 because guess what? If you hold with 188 health points left over and you're not leaking, that means you can purchase more workers. Someone very high elo was just telling me the problems that I have in my game is that my building and my pushing are not good enough. That right there is how to get better at the game. By building better, right? By using your units more tactically, you can push more workers. More workers turning into more income or more mythium to leak your opponents or to scale. That is how you're going to get good at this game. Simple as that. Just splitting like that. That's all you guys need to know. I'll show you guys more because I still like messing around in the sandbox and looking at how we can improve different splits. But if all you wanted was one tip, just split. And those are pretty much the most basic of splits, right? You could have absolutely no split, and every unit you have is just dead center, just like that. I mean, it's one way to play the game for sure. And if that's what you enjoy, that's what you enjoy. Like even there was actually a split, right? Even there, we actually still had a split, which is allowing 3 creeps to tank at once, right? Which is pretty cool. You know?
All right,
look at this.
Let's try not to explode today.
We still hold. Pretty cool. 500, 400 HP. 400 HP. One more, just so you guys understand. So what if I took away half this board? I take away 60 gold. Just like that. I just took away 60 gold from my board. Just to show you guys. So I think I had, what, 5? Just to show you guys what can happen.
I think I've got the spell right this time.
With less value. With less value, do I do better? Worse? The same? Let's find out.
I think I've got the spell.
Let's find out. So I could put that into a worker. I would theoretically put that into a worker.
All right, Orbs.
It was 400 HP.
Today.
Alright, I lose here. But I would have another worker. Right? I would have another worker. I am leaking, so. But that's where, once again, I've played this game 9,000 times, and that was not a great split.
I think I've got the spell
It wasn't,
this time.
right? That was not a great split. Alright? So sometimes you have to mess with it. Sometimes you have to mess with it, and you'll make a mistake in a game. And then guess what? You can adjust it. You can adjust your splits if you make a mistake. Right? I mean, you can't go back to wave 4. Right? I'm not gonna lie to you there. You can't go back in time. But for that following wave, you can improve it. You know?
I totally have this under control.
And here, now we're gonna hold. Barely. But I still have 50 gold less. Alright. I look kind of silly. But, you guys see the point, right? I take away 60 value in order to min-max. I mean, I guess not really min, it's maximize. I'm trying to maximize my output. And then we just try it again, you know? I just keep going lower and lower. All in all, what I'm trying to do is actually have this Pipsqueak tank the most. As a ranged unit. And not have these die. That's what I'm aiming for in this sandbox right here. If you didn't realize that. Just trying to maximize it. But even so, it's actually still not tanking enough.
All right, Orbs. Let's try not to explode today.
But the problem is, the later in the game, then you want your Pipsqueak to tank less, not more. So you sort of have to reverse how you're playing. Right? That's why I gave you guys just the
I think I've got
I gave you guys the
the
one point at the start of the game. This is the basic breakdown of how to split.
I'm ready.
All right, right here, this might do it, right? The Pipsqueak is finally tanking a lot. That means these Bone Warriors will stay alive a lot longer. This one will hang on there. Or maybe I still leak, right? Maybe I can't hold with this. Because it actually has been the same outcome every time, I'm not gonna lie to you. One more for the boys. Right? I mean, I guess I need to really be looking at the circle. These things are way outside the circle, and even with them being way outside the circle, they're still tanking. Interesting, huh? And the only way to know that is to play the game enough. Right? I'm not gonna lie to you. Right? They're just slowly tanking. Slowly tanking. Slowly tanking. And because the Pipsqueak has that much HP, it's able to tank, you know? It's able to tank here. We at least got it the closest. We leaked one. We leaked one creep. We leaked one creep there. Just making slight adjustments every time. And you can always just mess around with in the sandbox. If you lost one of your games, why not go in the sandbox and say, hey, why did I leak on that wave 4? Why did I leak on that wave 5? Let me try making my own weekly challenge with my build. And I'll show you how to do that. Wait. There it is. It only took like five attempts. All right. It only took 5 attempts, by the way. Dash info 4. You can do that in game 2, 270. So we're 55 gold undervalued. But yeah, so in order to do that, all you have to do is go to your match history. Click on a game. Okay, click on a game. And you're going to click on the wave you leaked really bad. Click on the wave you leaked really bad. And that will allow you to then hit dash load. And it will load your build. It will load your build. So for example, this game, look at how bad my split was here, guys. This was a really, really bad split. And I'll tell you exactly why. I'll tell you exactly why. My champion Oathbreaker gets absolutely incinerated. It tanks way too much and just dies. It just dies. My magic steed leaks. And look at this. My flower, which is a natural tank on wave 6, is the last one to leak. Is the last one to die, which is really bad, by the way. So let's see what we could do to change on wave 6 to improve this. All right, what could we move around? Right. So I know that the Oathbreaker, and it is champion, the Oathbreaker is going to do more damage. It's going to do more damage once it's at 50% HP. Know that through the ability of Unchained Rage. I also know that Flower does more damage on wave 6 if it's hitting everything, because Flower is AoE. AoE units, yes, can be very, very difficult to split sometimes. Another thing you're gonna learn over a period of playing the game, and maybe I'll make some videos on that for the more in-depth splits. But let's just look at this for the time being. What could we change? I don't know. I leaked really bad this game. First things first, I'm gonna try to put the Oathbreaker on the wall over here. Right, I'm gonna put the Oathbreaker on the wall because it just died so fast. So I'm gonna do this first change, and then let's just see what happens. Let's just see what happens with this first change of putting it on the wall. So maybe it tanks a couple and then doesn't die. I'm not gonna make it too different yet. right? Let's see how this Oathbreaker is doing. It's still tanking quite a bit. It does die. It does die. But at least at this point, look at this. 3 units are tanking. 3 units are tanking. I'm already doing fairly better than I did in game. Just with one little change. 50%. 50% right there. That was pretty cool, wasn't it? So already we have improved our split. Because we don't want the Oathbreaker to die. Right? We don't want it to die there. So what else could we change? Well, these guys are just sort of for delay. So what if I only had the 1 over there? Oops. What if I only had the 1 over there and then we moved the 3 buzzes over here? This is not the prettiest build, I won't lie to you. But I'm just purely looking at how we can improve this wave 6. And then there's probably a way to fully redo the build. To fully redo the build. Once again, the Oathbreaker is dying just too fast. It's just dying too fast. But at least we have a little bit of that buzz damage in the back. You know, it's probably not worth that much. But the buzzes did hang on for a little longer. A lot of it is luck from the consort. So here we still leak 67, which is not great. Not thrilled about that. So we need to find out how to make this Oathbreaker live. Right? That Oathbreaker needs to live. So let's try that buzz right there. And yes, I love the sandbox. Right? Because we want it to tank, but we don't want it to die. Oh, this might... Maybe? Maybe? Okay, it does go down. The flower is hitting everything. Killing some stuff, not that much. We're leaking worse here. Interesting. So we're actually leaking worse in this outcome. Alright. You can also do dash lifetime. You can do dash lifetime to understand. So our steed is living the longest. These buzzes up here are dying the quickest. So I have an idea. What if we switch these 2 units? What if we switch those 2 right there? I got a feeling that's going to change something. And the reason... Oh, what the heck? The reason that that's going to change something is because, guess what? Honeyflower has the highest HP. So it would make sense that my highest HP tank would be forward. In addition, going back to what we tested earlier, I have no ranged units, right? None of my units here are ranged. So it's not like I can do any crazy split. These are all melee units. Just so you know. Let's see what happens. How's that Oathbreaker doing? Still going down pretty fast. Goes crazy there. Our flower has been hitting everything though. So let's see. The flower's hitting everything. Steed kills 1 thing. Steed kills 2 things. Still 50% though. Still 50%. So somehow we need our Oathbreaker to not die. Need it to not die. That's just all there is to it. So once again, we can do dash lifetime. We know that the 3 creeps on the left are hitting it. 3 creeps on the left are hitting it. So what if we had less creeps going to the left here? Since we are having a split, even though we have a flower, what if this was right there? By doing that, we now know that it's going to diagonal the wave, right? It's going to split the wave in half. So if the wave gets split in half, then this can't tank everything, right? I mean, maybe. It definitely stayed alive a lot longer, that's for sure. Definitely stayed alive a lot longer, that's for darn sure. We're close, we're close. These things are really low. It's pretty close. Once again, dash lifetime. 12, so okay, this is it right here. This is the one. And yes, I realized that just messing around in the sandbox. This is half learning, half sandbox testing, okay? Sorry. Wave 6. So by doing this, I've got the damage to hopefully save the Oathbreaker. The Oathbreaker is 100% tanking 3 creeps. The other 3 are going right. The flower will be hitting everything most of the time. And we have our steed damage, which is our only magic damage on this unit, on this wave. Watch this hold. Because our Oathbreaker is going to perfectly split. And it has the damage to kill the creeps that are attacking him. Unless I'm crazy. Alright, holy moly. Alright, well. It's doing pretty good. I mean, this is not bad. And if you get a lucky shot. With a lucky shot, no. That would have been our best yet. This is gonna hold at some point, guys. This is gonna hold at some point. Just so you know. It will. Oh man, we just messed up everything. Okay. Alright. So, what if... What if we can't hold? No, I've got it right here. We have our Oathbreaker right there with the champion. What if we do some nasty split like that? This is a nasty split. The reason it's a nasty split is because the closer you are to the middle, the less your splitting is really working hard. You know, it's not working as hard at that point. And then we wanted the flower there. And then we need... already have our send. So, here it is. Let's see if this holds. It's still pulling the same amount of creeps, so it's probably still going to leak, unfortunately. We need to somehow make it so that the Oathbreaker is only tanking 2. Or not tanking at all, because clearly it keeps dying. Right? And that is not beneficial for us. This video is breaking my heart because this build broke my heart in the game. Alright. And if I had just had a better build to start the game, then this never would have been an issue. Wow, okay. Wave 6 works really weird. Wave 6 does work really weird, so maybe I'm kind of screwed here, to be honest. Alright, here we go. This is it. Wave 6. Gold. Because I was missing a buzz there. I also could just show you guys a dash. Greed is good. That'll give you 10,000 of each, which makes it really easy to test sandbox things over and over and over again. So, here we go. I'm just saying, flower, screw it, you tank, right? The Oathbreaker is tanking only 2 this time. Maybe this is the one. By adjusting our entire build. Let's see if that improves it. Killed that one, killed that one. It's close. 50%er. We need to keep that Oathbreaker alive. So once again, use our dash lifetime. Okay. By using our dash lifetime. Let's go ahead and sacrifice this steed here. Because we know our champion unit is the most important here on wave 6, right? What a funny video. What a funny video. Alright, let's see how our Oathbreaker does. Does it live? Oathbreaker's going crazy. We need to kill those 2 and then have tank cover it. It does not live. And I leaked the worst. Ugh. AoE units, guys. I mean, actually, that's really good. That was really good. All these little changes, you know? All these little changes can change from an 83% leak we had in game to a full hold. And it's just understanding why. Really, like, why am I doing this, you know? I'm doing this so I can push more workers and hold with lower value. That's all it is. That is all it is. I'm just trying to give a little bit more damage over here. So we need that Oathbreaker to live. If the Oathbreaker holds, or survives, then we hold. Or can they help him out? Or is this guaranteed to leak forever? It might just be guaranteed to leak forever. This is another interesting one. We've got it closer here. Got it down to 3. Kills that. 2. I have an interesting idea. Dude, it's like a 30-minute learning. Oh, this is wave 7. It's like a 30-minute learning video, and like 5 minutes of it is learning, and the rest of it is just testing my really bad build here on wave 6. Because that's still gonna cause them to tank, right? Yeah, they're still gonna tank, just after those buzzes die. So is that just enough for the Oathbreaker to go crazy? It does die, but it was alive a little longer, right? Was alive a little longer. Same outcome. Down to 2 or 50. Down to 2 or 50. Interesting, interesting. I've got it. I've got it right here. Unfortunately, I don't think I would ever build in this fashion. But this is just me trying to hold this wave 6. Because once that consort dies, then the Oathbreaker should tank. Right? Actually, the Oathbreaker's just living way longer here. The Oathbreaker now goes crazy. We did it. We did it. And look at how much value I still have left over. Alright. I'm sorry this turned into that, guys. But the reason, just so you understand, split-wise, the reason that all happened, why I was able to hold, is because the Oathbreaker was not able to split 3 creeps on wave 6. It could not handle 3 creeps. It could handle 2 or 1, but if it had 3, it died. So by putting a high enough HP unit in front of it, then it did not just insta-die. That is why I held on wave 6. But that's probably enough baloney. Maybe I'll have you guys send in a video, since this video went a completely different direction. Send me a copy and paste your build, and maybe I can try, or like a screenshot or something. I'll figure something out. And I'll try to hold your leaks, turning into weekly challenge with your builds. Not the builds that they do in the weekly challenge, but with your builds, I will attempt to hold it. Since that's what that's turned into. If you, of course, want more learning content like I did at the start, please let me know. If you want something cool like that, since this just turned into me riffing and trying to hold my wave 6, let's do that too. But thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.